we've got more changes and updates coming to College Football 25, and in this video we're going to talk about all the things you can expect very soon to be coming to the game. Now every day on this channel I'm getting tons of comments about little things that people want fixed in the game or things that people want added. A lot of people keep asking when is the next update because it's been quite a few weeks since the last one. Well, it's been a little over 3 weeks since the last update, which means that we are most likely getting our next title update for College Football 25 sometime next week, probably towards the end of the week if I had to guess. And we did just get a brief update a couple of days ago that I'm going to talk about in this video. It wasn't anything major, but we will talk about what happened. Now, if you are new to the channel and you never want to miss out on any of these important updates as they happen multiple times a month, make sure to subscribe and turn the bell icon on so you never miss any of these videos when they go live. You know, more than half of you that watch the videos aren't subscribed, so you could be missing out on some very important information, especially the upcoming College Football 26 information that'll be coming out in the very near future. You're definitely not going to want to miss that. Now, before we get into what you can expect in the update that's likely dropping next week, let's talk about what happened a couple days ago. People have been asking me, what was the update for? Basically, it was just a very small, quick fix where they went in to address the issue where the kick meter was messed up. If you remember, a few weeks ago when the last title update went through, the kick meter got smaller for some reason on field goals and stuff like that. So they did go in and address that. You may have noticed that that has been fixed if you've been on the game the past couple of days. And they also did various other stability fixes, which, like I say every time, we don't really know what that means. We just think it's server related type stuff, things to help with crashing and any types of issues like that. I know sometimes in Road to Glory, there's been some issues there. So it's little things to try to help the stability of the game. Now, what can we expect in the next update? Well, I do know some things for sure, and there's some other things that can likely be happening that I'll talk about. So let's first talk about gameplay. So this maybe should go without saying, but they're going to pretty much always tweak gameplay to some extent in every update that drops. They've done this in Madden for years. They've done it with every update so far with College Ball 25. They've done things already like fix the pursuit angles a little bit. They've made them a little bit better. They've tightened up some of the zone coverage, like on the deep zones. They've added new plays to playbooks, tons of new plays. They've added new defensive plays. They've added new matching principles and stuff like that. So they're always going to be tweaking gameplay. We can expect that again. There are still, a few little bugs in the gameplay, not things that are too widespread. Like there's certain broken plays and some, tactics that people use that, again, not all of them are that widespread, but little things like that they will be addressing in the update and, every update until the end of the year. Now, in terms of new plays and things like that, I'm not 100% sure if we're going to be getting new plays in this update, but we're going to still be getting more plays at some point throughout the year because they've done this really in almost every update that has come out. I think only one of the major updates for the game didn't have new plays, so that's definitely something they've been adding a lot to, especially on the offensive side of the ball. We've seen a ton of new formations and plays added, and in this last update, we saw them even go to the defensive side and add some new coverages and things like that and some new blitzes, so we could still possibly be seeing more of that coming in this next update, but even if not in this one, we'll see it at some point later this year because doing the live playbook updates is something they have definitely said they want to do a lot of this year, and so far they've done a pretty good amount of those. Now, we're going to talk about Dynasty Mode, some other things like uniforms and equipment, but really quickly, I do want to shout out today's video sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. They've been a huge supporter of the channel, and if you like sports and you like winning money, then you've definitely got to check out Underdog Fantasy and play their pick'em game. Basically, all you have to do is pick higher or lower on player stats, and if they hit, you can win some big money. But the best thing about Underdog is they give you free plays at sign up, and they give you free money to play with, so who doesn't like that? So, for example, if you want to play for tonight's Thursday Night Football game, they're going to give you Brock Purdy to get a single yard, meaning all you have to do is get 1 yard and that's it, you win. It's a free play. If you want to wait and play on Sunday, they're going to give you Joe Burrow to get a single yard. For Monday night's game in a few days, it's going to be Josh Allen to get a single yard. And basically, no matter when you sign up, even if it's weeks from now, there will always be a free play just like this, a player to get 1 yard for you to take advantage of. And if you use my code RAY, R-A-Y, they're going to also give you up to $1,000 in bonus cash, and you just can't beat that. Now, in terms of Dynasty Mode for the next update, that's the one mode that they don't really talk about too much. Like when you follow some of the devs on Twitter or, just some of the ones I talk to when I have time, that's really not a mode they talk about too much in terms of what to expect in upcoming updates. We just know that when there are issues in the Dynasty Mode, they're going to make their best attempts to address them. They've done that with a number of things this year, like the simulated games, some of the issues with player editing at certain times, the bug with recruiting where where they couldn't schedule visits, right? Like all those little bugs, they've attacked a lot of those, but there still are, I think, a few things that are still there. I think one of the protected rivals or the scheduling, I think there are still some issues with that. I think a lot of it might be in the first year. I'm not 100% familiar with the bug. I've seen a lot of different feedback on it, but that is something they're still looking into, so maybe we could be getting that addressed very soon. But another thing that they said they were going to do throughout the year, and they've also done this quite a few times already, is they're going to constantly be tweaking recruiting. So just how they tweak gameplay a lot, they're going to continue to tweak recruiting, as that is really the lifeblood of the Dynasty mode, and we've already seen them tweak it to make certain tactics more effective and certain tactics less effective, because I guess they don't want there to be just a full-blown meta that lasts all year in the recruiting, and where it's just easy for you to kind of game the system. So they're constantly tweaking and adding and removing things from that to make it a little bit more challenging. So we could expect some changes to come there. In terms of Road to Glory, I haven't really heard much about it, and it's really not a mode that they've done a lot with since the game has been released. They have addressed a couple bugs with it, but they haven't really added anything to it. So I really wouldn't expect much to be done with Road to Glory outside of stability improvements and maybe addressing a bug or two. I don't really think we're going to see anything added. Probably have to wait until College Football 26 to see anything major happening with that mode, but I guess you never know. I just wouldn't expect anything if I'm being honest with you. Now, in terms of uniforms, I do know a bunch of these are coming, specific ones at that, and this is something that has been in every single major title update. They've added new uniforms, and they've added quite a bit every time. It's not like they're just giving us, 3 or 4 of them. They've been giving us 10 to 15 plus new uniforms, new helmets, every single title update, and with there being so many college teams and these teams having so many different variations of uniforms, old ones or new alternates that they're introducing, we're going to continue to see more of them get added, because remember, some of the ones that aren't in the game yet are because teams didn't want them to put it in the game until they wore it in real life or until they unveiled it. And every week on Twitter, a team's unveiling a new helmet or a new alternate look. So we've got a lot of those coming. The Miami All Blacks, I know I've been talking about that for over a month now. Not sure why those haven't been added yet, but I believe those should be in this next update. If they're not, then I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm pretty sure those should be in the next update. I know Miami fans have been waiting very impatiently at this point for that, because it's kind of been a while and they're tired of waiting. Now, another Miami style uniform that people are waiting for are the FIU Miami Vice. Now, these are a super fan favorite, and I do believe these should be in this next update as well. I know they've been waited for since the game was launched, so we should be getting those in the next update. I know that there's some other ones that are coming, whether they're going to be in this update or not 100% sure, but these are some other ones that are coming very soon, hopefully next week. The new Space U uniforms for UCF, they look really sick. Those should be coming hopefully in this next update. I believe SMU has some all red uniforms that should be on the way. Some ASU gold unis should be on the way as well. Louisiana Tech just revealed a new all blue helmet, which looks super sick. I think those should be making it into this update. Ole Miss also revealed a new helmet some weeks back. They didn't get into the last update, but they might be making it into this one. So a lot of uniforms and new helmets are going to keep rolling out all year long. Don't know all the exact ones for next week, but I do think the Miami stuff should for sure be in those from what I've heard, so definitely expect that. In terms of new equipment, I've seen a lot of people ask, are we going to get the new face masks that we got in Madden? Because, the same helmets that are in Madden are in College Football 25, and they just put a ton of great new face masks for the Axiom helmet and the Vices helmets and stuff like that. I did hear that these are going to come to college football. I don't know if it's going to be in the update next week. I would hope so, because these have been in Madden for like over a month now. So I would think these should hopefully be in that next update for college. We haven't really seen much on the side of equipment in terms of updates for College Football 25, but I did hear that there are going to be some equipment updates at some point, and the face masks are kind of one of the bigger things there. So I'm hoping those are in next week's update, but if not next week, those should be added at some point this year. In terms of more player likeness and stuff like that, I do think we're going to be getting more player likeness at some point, because there are still some players I believe that aren't in the game that did sign their rights over. We saw they did a big update for this when the game dropped. I think they're still working on doing more of these throughout the year. I don't know when that's coming. Could be next week, could be, a month from now, but we should be seeing some more of that. There's still some other players that need to be edited with their numbers not being completely accurate and stuff like that. So all those things are going to still be tweaked. As far as more roster updates, I'm being asked, when are we getting more roster updates? We just got one a couple weeks ago. We're going to be getting, maybe 3 of these a year, I would say. So we already had the big one a couple weeks ago. We probably won't see the next one for that, for another 4 weeks. Once we're, about 2/3 of the way through the season, I believe that's when we'll probably see the next one, because they're only doing it so many times a year. So they're going to let some more weeks play out, kind of see where players are at, and then they're going to do another big roster update dump where they just move, like 1,000 players around. So don't expect that, every week, because that's not what they're doing. Now, if you want to know all of the players that did get changed in that recent roster update, if you missed it, make sure to check out this video right here on the screen.